There's a beautiful concept in NLP that made NLP famous. Two of them actually. One is called as anchor.
Okay.
So it's called as emotional anchors, where he says all emotions are memory programs. If I feel bad right now and if I forget about it then in the next moment, is it a big deal? No.
Not really.
The problem is when you feel bad and you can't forget it.
Yeah.
That is an emotional program, which means it's running without even your permission. When people come to me sometimes for marital coaching, I say, nobody has a bad marriage. It is just a marriage with too many negative anchors. Which means you're constantly reminding each other of consistent negative emotions.
So how do you reverse this?
Okay, excellent question. Today you're going to learn how to transform negative emotions into positive emotions in just 3 minutes. Imagine having that superpower with you, that you have a negative memory or a negative emotion which is going on for last 10 years or 20 years. What if you could transform that emotion in just 3 minutes and stop feeling that negativity? Wouldn't you love that? It's possible to do it with a science called as NLP. Full form is Neuro Linguistic Programming. This is the superpower of law of attraction. I remember I was doing this podcast with a neurologist called Sid Warrior. He's an amazing YouTuber. When I was doing his podcast, in that, he asked me a lot of questions about how NLP works, why NLP works, and being a neurologist, that was the topic he was really interested in. So I remember with Sid Warrior, on his podcast live, I asked him to remember a person जिसको याद करके he easily feels negative. And I gave him a challenge. I said, in just 3 minutes right now, we'll transform that negative memory into a positive experience right now. You won't be able to feel negative about that person anymore. Want to know how I did it? That's what I'm about to show you right now. I've got a small clip from that entire podcast and I'm showing you that video right now. By the way, if you're meeting me for the first time today, my name is Mitesh Khatri. I and my wife, Indu Khatri, we are law of attraction coaches and national best-selling authors of this book, The Law of Attraction. Watch how easy it is to transform anybody's, even a neurologist's, negative emotion to positive emotion in just 3 minutes. Want to do it? But when you're doing it, my request is sit with a pen and paper. Everything that I show you in this video today, make notes so you can master it and you can practice it starting today. Ready? Let's go. There's a beautiful concept in NLP that made NLP famous. Two of them actually. One is called as anchor.
Okay.
So it's called as emotional anchors, where he says all emotions are memory programs, or at least the consistent emotions are memory programs. See, if I feel bad right now and if I forget about it in the next moment, is it a big deal? No.
Not really.
The problem is when you feel bad and you can't forget it.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I say something to you and you feel bad about it and you forgot it next minute. That's not a problem. The problem is if you can't take that out of your head. You're eating food and you're thinking what I said. Right? Like you're sleeping in the night and you wake up out of fear saying, why did he say that about me?
Which happens.
Right?
Yeah.
That is an emotional program, which means it's running without even your permission.
Hmm.
The person who said what said was only once. But the program is now running here. So what is more important to change? The other person or the program here?
The program.
Yep. So emotional anchors is understanding that human emotions, consistent human emotions, positive and negative, are called as positive anchors and negative anchors.
Okay.
These can be reprogrammed, but first we have to understand that the program exists. Example, what I was saying to you earlier before we started the session is, when people come to me sometimes for marital coaching, I say, nobody has a bad marriage. It is just a marriage with too many negative anchors. Which means you're constantly reminding each other of consistent negative emotions.
Right.
Now, how are they developed? Let's take a very simple example. Husband and wife talking to each other, fighting. Common stuff, conflict to honge.
Yeah.
Two people are staying together, kuch to conflict ho gayi. But now what happens is, there are 3 kinds of anchors now, in positive and negative also. Visual anchors, auditory anchors, and kinesthetic anchors.
Okay. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic.
So visual is what we see.
Yeah.
Auditory is what we hear. Kinesthetic is what we feel. If a person touches you in a certain way, it can get programmed forever. And it can have a long-lasting impact on you. Like for an example, while they are fighting, if the man touches the woman inappropriately and maybe hits her a bit, or it can be a kinesthetic anchor that she can be haunted by for many years.
Yeah.
And now every new relationship she gets into, she's trying to avoid that emotion. But what if the new guy has nothing to do with that? Now this poor girl is being programmed with that emotion and it's running her life.
So those anchors can be physical.
Yeah, exactly. They can be physical, they can be visual. Another visual example can be, I'm fighting with you, I'm seeing your face. I'm fighting with you, I'm seeing your face. I'm fighting with you, seeing. So your face, in my mind, has become like an anchor, like a memory of all those negative emotions we are talking about.
Yeah.
Now, here's what happens. We go to sleep, get up in the morning. The first 5 seconds, do you really think we remember a fight? No. We forget everything. It's like a clean slate.
Yeah.
Now, you get up in the morning and you're fine. And then you look at your wife, you're like, and the rush of that negative emotion comes back and you're like, oof.
Yeah.
And you can see the changes on the person's face. That's an anchor.
Yeah.
A person says a certain negative word. Example I'll give you is, and I think everybody will relate with this, including you. I hope so. In my childhood, I was a very naughty guy. I was one of the naughty ones. I don't know if you were. We'll keep it to you.
Yeah.
Now, when there are naughty people, one of the things that happens with us is dad will come home and on the way he'll say, Mitesh, zara idhar aana. And I knew that tone.
Of course.
Like if I knew my dad said, Mitesh, idhar aana, I'm dead. Like my brain's thinking, aaj kya kiya maine? Right? Now the weird thing is, Sid, even though I know NLP, it's been 20 years, 25 years to that. Even today, Indu, my wife, if she says, Mitesh, idhar aana, my heartbeat goes up like, aaj maine kya kiya? Many times I said, yeah, please, aise mat bola kar. But that's an auditory anchor.
Yeah.
So you were asking me, can we have programs of positive emotions that can be long lasting? Yes.
So how do you reverse this?
Okay, excellent question. By learning how to re-anchor yourself to something positive, but there are 2 steps to it. One is to scramble the anchor. Second is to create a new anchor.
Okay.
Okay, so here's an example of that. I would ask any person, I don't know if they're watching, if you're watching on this video right now, think of, and you can do this with me.
Okay.
Let's do it like a beautiful challenge, not like a hardcore challenge,
Sure.
like a beautiful challenge.
Yeah.
Think of a person that genuinely reminds you of a negative feeling.
Okay.
And all of you do that with me.
A negative feeling.
Where by habit you remember this person and you're like, he gives you some negative feeling, or she. And you can't help feeling anger or whatever you feel towards that person.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when I do this in a group and I ask, generally women, mother-in-law comes up. Okay. So
Sure.
something is there. Like there is either this friend who treated you in a certain way, or a mother-in-law who said something. Now, the problem is not what they did. The problem is the program is still here.
Yeah.
So when I asked you to think of this person, remotely you would still think of some person who made you feel some negativity.
Yeah.
That's a program. Now let's reprogram you right now. You thought of that person?
Okay. Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what negative emotion comes to you when you think of that person.
Frustration.
Frustration. Fair. You've been feeling frustration for this person, or when you think of this person, for how long?
Around a month, couple of months.
Okay. If you keep meeting this person and you keep feeling frustration as per the program, which is what you are feeling right now, would it hamper your relationship with this person?
Absolutely, yes.
Would you be productive with this person?
No.
Would you be able to influence this person? So would it be useful to reprogram yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's how we do it. Close your eyes. Hey, loving the video so far? Dekha how easy it is to transform somebody's emotions? Don't worry, you'll see the entire video. But if you really want to go through in depth of what NLP is, and if you're someone like me who likes to go into details of something like this, and you want to master your own emotions, I'm giving you the first lesson of NLP completely free. Below this video, there's a description, and in that description, you'll find a link. Quickly register right now. Pause the video, register right now, because usually there are limited seats. बहुत सारे लोग जल्दी आ जाते हैं. Seats are normally full. Check if the seats are still there. And if they are there, I will see you in the NLP lesson number 1, where I'll give you more clarity on how you can master NLP to master your life and attract your goals at super fast speed. Okay, let's continue watching the video now. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine the time when you probably saw a circus.
Okay.
And in that circus, you must have seen a joker.
Yes.
Imagine the face of the joker very vividly, with a red nose. And if you remember, the lips were also red.
Yes.
And the hair were colorful.
Yes.
And the eyes had some makeup.
Yes.
And it had a significant smile on the lips. Even though the joker was not smiling, it would look like it's smiling.
Yes.
And it would always wear which color clothes? Remind me.
Bright red, white, some blue.
Red, yellow, blue, striped pants.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. You remember the joker now?
Yes.
Great. I now want you to remember the person who frustrates you.
Okay.
And I want you to imagine this person in joker clothes.
Okay.
And imagine his nose is like a red nose. Imagine there's this beautiful lipstick red smile on his face,
Yeah.
even though he's not smiling.
Yeah.
And imagine on his body is this colorful clothes.
Yeah.
And now make him say in your head what he says to make you frustrated.
Yeah. But now it sounds funny.
But continue making him say the same thing as if in the sound of Donald Duck. Like quack, 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 quack.
Yeah. Okay.
And literally do it in your head. Like make him say the same stuff in Donald Duck language. And if you remember in circus, in the end, the Joker would always do the act of dropping his pants.
Yeah.
So I want you to imagine this guy just dropped his pants, but he has no idea that he did that. But you can see it.
Okay.
And now open your eyes and tell me what you had for dinner last night.
Last night, parathas.
Okay. The reason I did this, in NLP, this is called as a pattern interruption.
Okay.
We do this either for the purpose of taking a person away from an emotion
Mm-hmm.
or to pattern interrupt in a game like this or a technique like this to test whether what I did worked or not.
Okay.
So to test it now,
Mm-hmm.
think of this person and see if you get frustrated.
Less so. It's more funny now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And how useful could that be when you meet the person next time?
Very useful. I would probably talk to them about this exercise.
That's wonderful. So
And
this
that
way we
should
can
be-
actually reprogram.
Yeah.
So this is one example, but of
Hmm.
course there's a much deeper learning into it about how NLP anchors work,
Right.
in how many scenarios they are existing.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, in a day, we go through at least 50 to 60 multiple anchors.
Hmm.
Our entire day is full of anchors,
Yeah.
which program you to remember either positive or negative emotions.
Yeah. I can understand why. Because sometimes anchors can be comforting.
Yeah,
They give
Yeah.
you a sense of,
of course.
now I know where I am.
Yeah. Since you said that, I'll give you a very simple example of an anchor.
Right.
Wherever you live here, we don't want to give them the address right now, so I'll not take the name of the society. But wherever you live here, there's a landmark near.
Yes.
We all live at a certain place where there's a landmark.
Yes.
Let's say you're coming home and that landmark disappears. What will happen?
I might feel lost.
For a few seconds, you'll be
Yeah.
lost because suddenly that comfort of where I am is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
So an anchor is, if I had to give you the exact definition, when one thing reminds you of another thing, automatically it's called an anchor.
Correct.
So there's a reaction. Sorry, there is a stimulus
Hmm.
and there's a reaction.
Hmm.
The stimulus is not in our hands.
Hmm.
The reaction is programmed to that stimulus.
Yes.
So the stimulus could be that landmark and the reaction is, oh, my house is here. The stimulus could be, my wife said that, and the reaction is, how sweet.
Yeah.
Now, you could have positive anchors and negative anchors.
Hmm.
Comedians know this best.
Interesting. How?
Comedians are masters of anchors. They'll say 3 brilliant jokes and make you laugh. And while you're laughing, they're doing a particular trigger, a particular stimulus without you knowing it. The 4th time, they'll say a very ordinary joke and you'll laugh because they're doing the same stimulus. An example of that is, if you know one of those comedians who you take his hands like this and do this.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know whom I'm talking about, one of the comedy challenges. Every time he would do this, people would already start laughing.
Yeah.
So his joke has already got elevated to the next level.
So it's become a visual trigger.
Yes.
That's so interesting. That is so interesting.
So for an
it's-
example, think of Kapil Sharma,
Yeah.
where he would have this very clear anchor. Let's say you are on a show and you say, Sid, you're a neurologist. How many years did you study for neurology? And you'll give
I
some
would
answer.
say some
right?
answer, yes.
He said, कभी सोचा था कि इतने सालों के पढ़ाई के बाद आप कपिल शर्मा के शो पे आओगे? You see, it made you laugh.
Because I can imagine it.
You can imagine it. And that's become a program.
Yeah.
Now he reuses that program every single time and gets the same reaction every single time.
Right.
So positive anchors and negative anchors. It gets amazing when we learn how to dissolve the negative anchors and how to recreate positive anchors. So to answer one of the initial questions about how do I and why do I use this with law of attraction? A lot of times when people practice law of attraction, they're doing affirmations, right? But what if they're filled with negative anchors on the day?
They won't be able to move forward. They won't be able to do their affirmations only.
Yeah. In the first place, their brain says you're fake. And their
Is-
brain says like, it's not true.
Is that imposter syndrome? Or is
Could
that
be.
different? Okay.
Could be. Because it can be a negative anchor again to feel that imposter syndrome. That, am I really this or am I forcing this on myself? That also could be an anchor. And that doesn't let them now take action. What if I could dissolve those anchors for them and make them feel happy while doing affirmations? Emotionally, not logically.
Hmm.
That's what we do in the DMP, daily magic practice. An example of that is when we start our DMP, we tell people, okay, close your eyes and I want you to think of a moment when your father gave you your favorite toy and how you felt.
Hmm.
Or I want you to now think about the one moment of your life when you felt extremely proud of yourself. The one moment when you had the first infatuation of your life where you felt that kuchi kuchi feeling of a person and like with that song of Pehla Nasha. You see that song got that smile? That song is an anchor
Yes.
of a romantic feeling.
Yes.
So I use these anchors to make people feel good first. And say, okay, now read your affirmations. All right. How was that video? Did you love it? You saw how neurologists have an open mind. And because they have that mindset of a scientist, even when they are skeptical, they are healthy skeptical. What is healthy skepticism? They say कि चलो करके देखते हैं, पता करते हैं कि होता है कि नहीं होता है. They don't directly become skeptical saying कि नहीं होता है. This is the power of scientists like Dr. Sid Warrior. So what I want you to do is be a scientist in your life, where before you discard anything, before you believe in anything, खुद try करके देखो, सोचो, think. If you really had the power to transform your mind, isn't it worth learning it? और जा क्या रहा है? 60 to 75 minutes of your life and you can learn more details of an NLP right now. Did you register for the first lesson that I gave you? If not, do it now. And like I said, skeptical bano, lekin healthy skeptical bano. Find out for yourself whether it works or not. And if you realize that it works, balle balle, fir to life mein nikal padi, right? Awesome. So I will see you soon in my next YouTube video. But before that, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that the next time I'm creating videos like this, you definitely get a notification. Okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.